Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 193, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hassan, and I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hello, Zachy. How are you?
We are wrapping up January.
I know, already. The year 2020 has just begun. It's always a process for me to get used to writing 2020 when I have to fill out forms and, you know. But 2020 actually came kind of quickly for me.
Here's the problem, though. It's just January, and I'm already kind of done with 2020. It has been. Really? I mean, I think in the past month we've had almost World War III.
Right.
A global pandemic might be knocking on our door.
Yes.
I was just on Vudu yesterday, and you can see like the most searched movies.
Yeah.
And I think it was like number 2 is Contagion.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's Well, and I went to Disneyland this past weekend, and it was a group of us, and one person bowed out for that very reason, just worried about being at a place with so many people.
You know what? I don't blame them.
No, I mean, we decided to go, but we certainly didn't blame her for not going.
I'm just like, if you're trying to make yourself feel better about the possibility of a plague, maybe Contagion's not the way to go.
Right.
That's not a feel-good movie.
Yeah.
Watch Outbreak.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a happy ending at least,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, we're recording just very shortly after the very shocking passing of Kobe Bryant, which, you're in L.A. I'm sure you're dealing with the aftermath of that.
Yeah. That was I was just at the DMV yesterday morning, and it's been surreal ever since the news broke, but just being in there and seeing, it's hard to explain, but there's like these monitors where they're calling your number. And on the right side of the screen is your number, and then on the left side is just random news. And it was just this big image of Kobe Bryant with his born date and death date next to my number at the DMV.
Wow.
And I was like, what world are we living in? Like, yeah. It felt so surreal.
What's obviously, it's the fact that, the manner in which it happened, the fact that his daughter was with him, and obviously the 7 other people. There's just it's like a cascading level of tragedy,
Yeah.
But there's also something about the fact that he even though he had been retired, he was still in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
He was still present. Kobe Bryant was still a fixture. As opposed to kind of, an athlete who was, who passes away 20, 30 years after his or her peak.
Right.
So there's just something that makes it feel more immediate, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. He was 41. I mean, on top of all those things, I guess from what I understand. Yeah. It's just, but yeah, I think he coached like his daughter's team, and I think he had camps, right?
Yep.
If I read that correctly, and just, he wasn't just sitting down and living out his life. He was a pretty active parent, and I don't know, he wasn't done with basketball. Let's put it that way, right? Bringing it to the next generation for kids.
Yeah. Do you remember? Of course you remember, but 3 years ago when I came down for the John Williams concert, Kobe Bryant was part of that experience.
Yeah, which was really cool. He had just done the short film Dear Basketball, which was an adaptation of the poem that he had written when he retired. And so it was animated and directed by Glenn Keane, who's kind of a Disney legend, and then John Williams had done the score. So that was amazing. Yeah, he came out on stage, and John Williams live scored it as it played for us at the Hollywood Bowl. That was really special. Then that went on to win an Oscar.
Won an Oscar, yeah. And he became Oscar winner Kobe Bryant.
Right. They'd have to come up with a longer word than EGOT.
Yeah.
Right? Because they'd have to add a basketball championship. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling my students about it. I was like, I never got to see him play, but I did get to see this.
Uh-huh.
And in a weird way, I mean that short, I've watched it a couple times in the last couple of days. I mean, it's such a, you know, in hindsight now, it's this, you know, it's almost more effective posthumously.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
It kind of, it's not just his farewell to basketball; it's his farewell to the world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Who would have known? But it's.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it. I should watch it again. I read the poem again. I saw it printed out somewhere, and it is nice. I thought even just for his retirement there, it was a nice elegy.
Yeah.
Right? To something that meant obviously the universe to him.
I mean, to go out on your own term, to know when it's time, right?
Sure.
That, like, you know, he strove to be Michael Jordan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously for us, you know, for you, me, and Kobe Bryant, we grew up having that same experience of Michael Jordan as this god of basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kobe was like, I'm gonna do exactly that.
Right.
He's like, I'm not gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna be MJ better than MJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
And although a lot of the records and whatever are still with Michael Jordan, the one thing Kobe did that MJ couldn't was know when it was time to leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because, you know, Jordan came back. He had that perfect ending with the Bulls.
Yes.
And that's where you go credits, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But then he comes back and plays for the Wizards, and it's like, you know, that's like that embarrassing chapter nobody talks about.
Yeah. I forget about it, to be honest.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure Jordan wishes you could forget about it.
Yeah. Right.
You know. But yeah, Kobe Bryant, R.I.P.
Yep. Yeah, very sad.
What else? Have you caught any movies or anything like that lately?
Well, yeah. So I mean, getting back to movie stuff. This past week, I saw a couple things, and they were very, very different from each other. One I forgot I was going to mention, but it was called Manhunt Unabomber.
Okay.
Did you hear about this? It was, I guess, a Discovery Channel miniseries, maybe 2 or 3 years back. And because of the Anthony Hernandez documentary on Netflix, in a review I was reading, someone recommended this one, saying how good it was. And I thought, you know, I've mentioned before, but I really am interested now in these fictionalized accounts of news that I was alive for. Mm-hmm. Because I remember the time and place and seeing the news. And so
Aaron Hernandez, by the way, you meant.
Oh, Aaron. I'm sorry. Aaron Hernandez. Thank you. Actually, as I said, I was like, that doesn't feel right. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. It has Sam Worthington in it. Chris Noth, Paul Bettany plays the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski.
Wow, I have not even heard
it's about
of this.
8 episodes. It's on Netflix, and I felt the first episode I wasn't so sure. It feels TV has become so cinematic.
Yes.
In terms of look, but also just pace and execution. And this one felt like it was right on the cusp as TV was becoming cinematic. So it wrestles with being a TV show and sort of cinematic. But I feel like by episode 2 or 3, it really kicks into gear and became something that I was like, next one. And I think the performances are great. Just a fascinating story. And obviously, personally, I remember it. So it was interesting to see more details than I remember, aside from the broad strokes, or probably what I remember from SNL or something, you know. But I think, yeah, if that sounds interesting to anybody, I think people will probably enjoy it. So it's on Netflix.
And it's called Manhunt Unabomber.
Unabomber.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also saw The Lighthouse.
Okay.
Which I know when Oscar nominations were announced, people were surprised that Willem Dafoe was not nominated for Best Actor for this movie.
Right.
And now that I've seen it, how was Willem Dafoe not nominated for Best Actor for this movie?
Yeah.
It is something to behold what he's doing in this movie. It's really unique, and I don't know if people will remember this. I don't remember if it ever even went super wide or made a huge impact culturally. But it was this black and white movie. It's shot in 4:3, so it's just a square. And it's about these two light keepers, Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. And basically, they have to spend a month together tending to this lighthouse, and they're starting to get on each other's nerves. And then, because of a storm, the boat can't come to pick them up, and they're trapped indefinitely. And so it's just two actors acting their butts off, going insane. And, yeah.
My question is there at any point, do you have like Willem Dafoe looking at Robert Pattinson and then he turns into like a drumstick?
You know what? No, but kinda. Kinda. That is... They should have done that. You know what? My whole opinion on this movie changed now. No, this was a movie that a friend of mine wanted me to watch because he was just really passionate about this movie. And I would say I didn't leave it as passionate as he did because I don't know that I ever emotionally connected with what was happening. But at the same time, I really did enjoy it a lot because it is just, I mean, it's a work of art. It is a perfectly realized vision, and it is filmed in a really fascinating way that I enjoyed every single frame of this. Apparently, they even used lenses from the 1911 for a couple shots.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can tell, like, there's some shots that just look really smeared and blurry, and I just assumed it was fog or something from that day. And the performances, I mean, it's just, like I said, I mean, you're watching two guys doing a really, really great job, just bouncing off of each other, and at times they're getting along, at times they're at each other's throats. I really did think it was a worthwhile journey with these guys, but it is kooky. That's all I'll say. It's a little kooky. So I think some people are going to leave it being like, whoa, but why?
Right.
It's a little David Lynchy. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad I checked it out. I really, it's sometimes you don't find your heart into a movie necessarily, but I'm definitely someone that I enjoy watching things that I'm like, well, that was just beautiful. Like I just enjoyed looking at that for an hour and a half. So I would say that was probably its strongest attribute, but also, well, no, equally is the acting. The acting is just really interesting, and the writing is really fun too. It's a lot of really old-timey speak, and Willem Dafoe, calls he calls himself Ye. He's like, "Ye beware," or no, I'm sorry, Robert Pattinson would be Ye. It's you got to see it. It's just imagine some weird David Lynchy movie about two lighthouse keepers, and that's what you got.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, and in a very similar artistic vein, I also watched Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
I really want to hear. I didn't see it, but I want to hear what you thought of this.
Well, we've spoken many times on the show about our feelings about Kevin Smith, which is that Clerks came out at a very pivotal time for us when we were teenagers. And it made us be like, well, watching characters talk that way was just revelatory, I think. Hearing these dudes talk about Star Wars for 5 minutes in a movie was like, what? Like, that's how I talk. Huh. But it was even elevated. It was smarter than how I talked. And so it was fun to hear those sorts of conversations that were eloquent but vulgar, and it was revelatory. But then as it went along, I found less and less for me in his movies, especially in his sort of horror exercises lately.
Yeah.
So when I heard about Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, I was like, well, I'm just not tracking with him much these days, but I just have these feelings for Jay and Silent Bob, so I had to check it out. I gotta say, I kind of enjoyed it. I was very surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back was the one where I was like, oh, what? I'm not quite sure what he's doing with Jay and Silent Bob. He sort of turned them in these... Silent Bob used to be this character who just stood there.
Yeah.
And then he would have some sort of monologue at the end, and Jay was all energy. But then he turned him into this really hammy, almost vaudevillian... if someone says something about typing a letter... Silent Bob is like with his hands like miming a typewriter, and I've never liked that. Oh, and by the way, and the score would do that too. Like it was very grating. I found it to become very grating, what it had become. So with Jay and Silent Bob, I was a little like, let's just do this. Let's just see. But I was surprised. I really thought it is what it is. Don't get me wrong.
It's not The Lighthouse.
It's not The Lighthouse. But I found it fun. Let's go fun more than funny per se. It's a lot of dick jokes. So also know what you're not getting into high art here. It's very vulgar, but it was also surprisingly sentimental, which I guess shouldn't be surprising because Kevin Smith, almost died from a heart attack.
Yes.
Just over a year ago. And I think a lot of that probably has come into play in the movie, the way that the characters are sort of somewhat sentimental with one another.
Right.
And also there's sort of a father-daughter storyline that I can't even believe I'm saying this, but like I got a little like, oh, kind of misty.
Wow.
During a little of the father-daughter stuff, but I'm certain it's because it came from a very real place for him. I was surprised. But again, not to paint this movie in a way that it is not. It is just a totally goofy stoner film. But if you have any affection for Jay and Silent Bob, I think people will enjoy it.
I think
it is. Wait, sorry, one more thing. I say that about Jay and Silent Bob, the affection, but also just the Kevin Smith universe. I mean, this is one huge inside joke of a movie.
Yes.
So I don't think anyone who's new to this would be like, oh, well, let's go check this out. I don't think this is going to be much for them. But if you have affection for them and you haven't seen them in a long time, I don't think you're going to hate it. So, sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, just echoing what you just said. I mean, for me, certainly the Askewniverse films, that was the appeal of going to see them, and I equate them with that very specific part of my life. But like Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, it was like, oh, we're part of this club.
Yeah, sure.
Right, and we get to sort of hang out with our fellow club members who are all in on this joke, and so seeing the trailer for this, I was like, oh, it's just nice to see everybody back. We talked about this on the show before, but seeing Ben Affleck like in the mix, given that they had some kind of a falling out or whatever, but I guess they've made amends, or they've worked that out. It's just nice to see,
Yeah, I agree. So if you check it out, I'd be very curious to know what you think.
So I saw Star Trek Picard, the first episode of that. And okay. I just wanted to share some thoughts on that. This is the return of Patrick Stewart as his iconic character. It's been 18 years since the last time he played Jean-Luc Picard, and so you have an opportunity within the narrative to pick up with this iconic character that many years later and sort of catch him at a point where he's much more vulnerable. This is not about seeking out new life and going to boldly going to new worlds. This is a much more introspective journey about somebody grappling with his legacy. And I think that's very rich narrative terrain, right? But it should not be a surprise at all that people online have their issues with that.
Okay.
Because it's another not my Jean. It's not my Luke. It's not my Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc. Do you remember those ads?
Yeah.
I have to bring that up. I'm done. So is this more with Star Trek used to be more about some sort of scenario and sort of the philosophical approach, right? And Star Trek has become somewhat of an action adventure series now through the films. What's the tone of this one?
And what's funny is, I don't think there is action adventure woven in through this, but it's still it's about ideas, right? It's about ideology. But it's not that, I think what a lot of people were hoping was, okay, here we are, nearly 30 years after the end of The Next Generation, but let's just pick up where we left off. Let's plop him down on the chair on the Enterprise and find another planet of people with boners on their heads and help him with a peace treaty or whatever,
Yeah.
And it's just not that. And I think. I mean, you don't need me to say this because I'm a fan. I mean, I think that back catalog of Star Trek has value. It continues to be important and worthwhile television. But television, conceptually has moved away in many ways from the episodic approach, and we're much more heavily invested in long form serialized storytelling, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So to me, I'm like, well, that's interesting to me. Let's do something different with this character. Let's leverage that iconography and do something different. Why do I want to see the same thing I've seen before, right?
Right.
And so again, what we're seeing societally is, and I can't imagine that this is widespread, but certainly the pushback that I'm seeing comes down to, oh, why is it different? And well, it's different because that's how life is.
Right.
Because why are you different now than you were 20 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm not the same asshole I was in 1999.
Right.
I was a huge asshole. Such an asshole.
Well, I would disagree because that's when we became friends, and
that's true.
I didn't see it that way.
But I mean, that to me, that's the richness that you can tap into when you have this opportunity. Here's a character you haven't seen in a while. Let's catch up with them later. Because otherwise, like, why do anything? Just don't do it. Just leave it alone then. Mm-hmm. Right?
Well, I thought I had heard someone on another podcast say that this is sort of the Logan for Picard. Is that
it's Loganish? Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if that. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's grittier or grimier per se, but it's just the character later. Time has changed, and it doesn't have to be like the thing that came before it. I mean,
I made the Luke comparison sort of offhand, but I think that comparison really works, right? Because we catch up with Luke Skywalker and Jean-Luc Picard in the aftermath of what they feel is their greatest failure.
Okay.
And both stories involve coming to terms with that and moving past that, right? Mm-hmm. And in both instances, I'm like, well, that's interesting. Tell me more, right?
Yeah.
If you say, okay, we are 20 years after the last Next Generation movie, and the Federation is at a place where they are xenophobic and they are more insular, and like something's happened. Mm-hmm. And people are like, well, that's not what the Federation is. And I'm like, okay, well, let's figure out how we got here, because presumably the story is about getting out of this.
Right.
And it's interesting to me, and maybe a little sad, that like we've reached a place where we don't expect more from our entertainment. Mm-hmm. Right? And I don't mean like escapism should do more than just allow us to escape. But I mean, this idea of like, just give me the thing that I like. Give me more, manja,
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, and this is being doled out week by week.
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, it's I guess we're used to, with Netflix or most places now, just giving us everything at once so we know what it is.
Yes.
And this is going to require some patience. I mean, by the end, this could be a journey that people really enjoy. So
yeah, and I think it's absolutely worthwhile. I was actually reading that it set records in terms of people signing up for subscriptions to CBS All Access, which is of course the whole reason they're even doing this. And that's the other thing, by the way. I was like, there's something to be said on the negative side about the proliferation of streaming platforms and how it has fragmented the viewing audience, right? Mm-hmm. We don't really have it. Very few and far between are the cultural shows that bring everybody to the table, right?
Right.
However, the upside is you get something like this, which would not have existed under the old paradigm. It just wouldn't.
Right.
Not network, not even syndication.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
It is kind of crazy. I mean, when you say that, that makes me think, yeah, there's probably a lot of people that would enjoy this show who aren't going to see it also. I mean, it's nice that, like you say, I mean, sometimes this allows us to do more specialized material. But yeah, I wonder, people who might really enjoy it or get into Star Trek because of it might never come across it.
I mean, That'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, whatever is debuting on Peacock in a year or whatever it is, I'm never gonna see it.
Yeah, you're not on board for the Saved by the Bell reunion.
I think that sounds fun and interesting, but like I'm not gonna get Peacock. You know?
No, I agree. Star Trek Picard, by the way, has already been renewed for a second season, so
Oh, nice.
the voyages will continue.
Wait, I'm sorry. I may have missed it, but who is show running it? Is it someone who's been previously associated with Star Trek? Or
It's not. The showrunner for the first season is actually Michael Chabon,
okay,
the author. He wrote. He's written a bunch of books, but the Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, and the name's not familiar to you.
no,
He's a pretty well-known author, and this is his first
Okay.
time being involved in a TV show. And essentially, that was part of the hard sell to get Patrick Stewart on board, was they needed to really prove that they had, they were making a hard push for quality.
Cool.
By the way, the kind of a cool thing, this is like in terms of like the inner nerd workings, but they tie it in with the 2009 Star Trek film,
Oh, interesting.
the reboot. So in a way that allows something that we see happen in that film is what we're seeing the aftermath of in this series.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this would mean that Next Generation takes place in the Kelvin timeline.
No, this is the main timeline. But if you remember in that film, we see the circumstances that led the Spock of the main timeline into the alternate.
Oh, I see.
So this is like now this series picks up 10 years after the events that dropped Spock. So like that timeline, the main timeline continues on, but there's like this little branch where the Kelvin films happen.
Got it.
Yeah, there's gonna be a quiz later, Brian. All right, hey, we got a couple of listener letters here I wanted to share with you.
Yeah.
So this is in regards to our last episode. This is from John Trumbull, who listened to us talking, or rather me talking about the Crisis on Infinite Earths DC crossover. And he says, all that discussion of the Crisis crossover and not one mention of Kevin Conroy playing Bruce Wayne in live action for the first time? For shame. And that's true. I missed the boat there. Yes, of course. Kevin Conroy. The Kevin Conroy. The definitive voice of Batman since 1992. Finally got
In
the
animation.
chance...
Yeah.
In animation, finally got the chance to play the character in live action in a brief role in an episode. I think it was in the Batwoman TV series.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
And it was, man, that voice, I'll tell you.
Right. Yeah.
It's astonishing to me that the animated series is now bumping up against 30 years old, and yet you can just plug Conroy in there, and it's just what you're getting.
Yeah. Wow. 30 years.
Yeah, so this is a little treat, and I know this is again one of those things. Some people online got upset because of the manner in which his version of Bruce Wayne is depicted, and whatever, get over it. That's what I have to say to that. Chris Ashline wrote to us. He says, I had no real desire to watch Bad Boys for Life until the spoiler-free part of your review. So, Chris is not alone. A lot of people were skeptical, and then heard us saying nice things.
That's great. I mean, yeah, I think that was a surprise for both of us, and
A very pleasant surprise.
yeah. We love action movies, but action movies have sort of gone in a direction that just feel a little, lacking in heart and character, and just become more. I think with CGI, right? It's like you can do anything.
Yes.
So I think they focus on what else can we do rather than grounding it in something I care about. That gets put to the wayside with a lot of these action movies these days.
Yes.
I was just surprised that I cared about the characters, and that was actually a decent story. So
Very much
man,
so,
I'm glad. I'd love to hear people who check it out tell us what they think,
Yeah.
even if they didn't like it.
Yeah, although, the movie's doing really well.
Yeah, saw that.
And I mean, it's weirdly, it's Sony has made some smart choices in terms of, for all of the shade we throw Tom Rothman's way about being a cheapskate. He has been smart about budgeting some of these things.
Yeah, which is what you especially call out all the time, where you're, Dr. Dolittle, like, look at the budget, and it's like, it was never going to make that. What were you thinking?
What are you thinking? Right.
So wise.
I mean, the fact that as of now, a fourth Bad Boys seems inevitable.
Right.
I wouldn't have said that 2 weeks ago,
No.
Right. But Chris goes on, he says, Brian, I'm so glad to hear you thought Six Underground was such a mess, too. The only other people I know who saw it said they thought it was cool, and I kept wondering what I was missing since I thought it was a train wreck, albeit with some really cool parts within it, but a train wreck nonetheless.
Exactly. It had some cool stuff. Like, it opens with a pretty cool car chase, and there's like some parkour stuff, which is funny because sometimes when I see parkour, that feels corny to me.
Sure.
Like some executive saw a video on YouTube and was like, "Get me that." But on the other hand, it always looks awesome. I mean, it just parkour is just looks awesome.
Remember there was that one office where Dwight's like doing the parkour, right?
Yes.
Ever since then, I kind of laugh at parkour.
Yes, but when you see the real videos, though, it's scary and cool, and I don't know. But there's also a thing at the end of this movie with magnets. It's like, wow, how'd they do that? Huh. But yeah, what a mess. I'm so glad Chris thought so too. I just, and it wasn't even a fun mess. I can enjoy a fun mess, but it was really, I really felt like what happened to, like, someone sneezed and put all their elbows on the editing bay's keyboard, and then they hit render anyway. That's what it felt like. So
that's really, you know what's funny though is you're describing it as a mess, and it's amusing to me because I was talking about a movie on Twitter yesterday. Mm-hmm. Specifically, it was like the 1984 Supergirl movie.
Okay, I've never seen it.
I mean, it's not very good, right? And so there was like a clip online of Helen Slater in the lead role, and I said something to the effect of, like, the movie's kind of a mess, but she's like terrific in it. She's just absolutely delightful, right? And so somebody responded to me and says, I think that word is so disrespectful to all the people that worked on the movie. It's okay to not like a piece of art, but calling it a mess seems a bridge too far. And I was like,
interesting. I'm trying to think how I feel about that. What did you feel?
I didn't respond to the person, but I'm like, I think calling something a mess, that's like coming on the kind side of things.
Yeah, because
I mean, if it's a mess, it's a mess. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would defend that word, actually, because I do feel the Six Underground is a mess.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean the stunt team didn't do a great job. They did.
Right.
Doesn't mean the actors didn't try. They did. Doesn't mean all the departments worked their butts off, and I believe it's all there. But the finished product that was out of their hands and left to a singular person's vision was incoherent. It was a mess, So I would definitely, I compliment everyone who worked so hard on that movie, for sure. But it just came together in a way that just made no damn sense.
To me, you're not disrespecting the people who worked on it. The finished product is what it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, it's weird. I mean, certainly for me, I do try to be sensitive in the verbiage that I use in any critique.
Certainly.
I just find it amusing that somebody made Supergirl from 1984 their hill to die on. Like, I mean, I think that's on the kind end of things to say about that film,
Yeah, yeah.
Again, I want to emphasize Helen Slater, who played the lead, is absolutely delightful in that film. It's not her fault that it's not so great.
That's a bummer. Then she could have had her own series.
Who knows, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that's enough about Michael Bay and messes. Let's take a moment to clean up this mess while y'all listen to this advertisement. And we're back, and we got a couple of very brief headlines before we proceed through the rest of the episode.
All right.
So we are in the age of franchises being dug up, vintage franchises being dug up and wheeled back out, literally wheeled out in this instance.
We've already talked about 2 so far.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Picard.
So Lethal Weapon 5, which is a concept, a hypothetical, which we did talk about on this show a couple of years ago, when Richard Donner talked about wanted to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when the TV series was going.
Okay, right.
So the TV series is no longer going. And now we got producer Dan Lin at Warner Brothers, who's him and Richard Donner are ready to go. He says Mel Gibson and Danny Glover are ready to go for Lethal Weapon 5. We are now 22 years after the last Lethal Weapon movie.
Wow.
And by the way, I want to say this is absolutely true. I'm not making this up. About like 36 hours ago, I was just randomly, this is what happened in my head. I was just randomly thinking about the fact that all these old franchises are being wheeled out. And I was like, well, when was the last Lethal Weapon? Oh, it was 1998. Wow, 22 years. Well, clearly it's too long for that. That's just ridiculous. And then I just went on with my day. And then, and then like within hours of having that thought, this story breaks.
Yeah. You're jogging my memory. I literally this week I was thinking about Lethal Weapon, and I love the Lethal Weapon movies, but out of the blue, and I don't remember why, I was thinking about 4, and I was like, wow, that movie was really racist.
Yeah, remember that like Fried Lice?
Yeah, there's a
Right?
lot of horrible
that.
Asian jokes, and
It's like
I even
one
remember
after the
when
other.
it came out 20-some years ago, thinking like, oh wow, like kind of surprised they're saying some of these things, and especially now, it does not hold up very well. That said, I love 1 and 2, and 3. I've only seen a couple times, but I love 1 and 2. But it just seems like there's a lot of baggage with the Lethal Weapon series that would be a tricky. It's not a for sure conclusion to me.
Right. I honestly, racism notwithstanding,
Yeah.
I do feel like number 4 is like a good place to leave it.
I absolutely agree. I mean, it's a great ending.
Yes.
To that series. Yeah.
And so, I don't know. And again, when I say wheeled out, I mean, literally, I feel like these guys are going to be in wheelchairs.
I know. Yeah.
They're all too old everybody's too old for this shit.
Yes.
So it does not sound like a sure thing. Well, you spend like 40-50 million on it, I could see it doing well.
Oof, yeah. No, I agree with you, but like I don't even know how you spend that.
How do you do
little
that?
on it. Yeah.
Right? First of all, do you do it without Joe Pesci? Because I don't think he'd want to do it.
Yeah. He barely could be talked into working with Martin Scorsese.
What's Scorsese, for goodness sake, right? So I don't know. It seems questionable.
Yeah, and the last one also, it had like a lot of great set pieces in it.
Yes.
Remember that? I mean, when he's in that house,
Yeah.
being dragged on the freeway, and then the
that's
car
right.
drives through the office building. I mean, I don't know. I just have a hard time imagining.
Well, and
this-
I just feel like this is a series that is so tied in with the 80s and 90s
Yes.
that
Yeah.
it's hard to jump ahead to 20 plus years and find a way for that to work. And then the other thing, because supposedly Richard Donner's working, he's like, we're calling it Lethal Finale, something like that. And I'm like, do we want to see like old ass rigs, right?
I know.
Do we want to see dead rigs? I don't. Well, we already saw dead rigs on the TV show, but like the real rigs.
Yeah.
you know?
Or, yeah. I don't know.
You know?
I don't know. Or Murtaugh. I mean, I could see them pulling a Han Solo.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling great about it.
That's it. Danny Glover was great in the last the Jumanji.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You should watch it. I think you'll like. You liked
Yeah.
the previous one, right?
I did. Yeah, I just somehow there's too many other things, and that's definitely when it's streaming. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, that's both of these new films have been such a pleasant surprise. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a low risk, low reward kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know,
And speaking to what you just said, I think they're both made for under $100 million.
that's
And
how
have
you
gone
do
on
it.
to make almost, at least 800 million. So, I mean, they're hugely profitable.
Another win from Sony. Who knew?
Yeah.
And there is, of course, another Jumanji, which I'm sure is on the way.
Oh, they're certainly. Yeah.
Yeah. What there is not more of on the way, and by the way, Lethal 5, like that's, if you were to ask me right now, I'll be very surprised if that movie ends up getting made.
Yeah, digging even more into the quotes, it feels like a little bit of wishful thinking. Like
Yes.
they're putting it out into the universe to see what happens. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that this is not official. This is just the major players are on board and ready to go.
Yes,
If anyone's there for it, we'll see.
if Warner Brothers wants to sign the checks.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that there is not going to be more of. Well, Brian, we should play the music.
You know, Zachy, I thought we were done with this song. I really did. But MoviePass. I was about to say your friend and mine, but maybe it's just my friend. that I
It's
keep
your
dragging
friend.
to
You had a
parties.
long-term relationship. It
It was, in the grand scheme of things, it was brief but meaningful. That's what I would say.
was my cheap trick, you know.
Yeah, it was. So I thought MoviePass was dead, and then it showed up like a zombie on my doorstep this morning in the form of news that MoviePass and its parent company have filed for bankruptcy. So basically, the company is going to be sold off for parts. Was just, it's just so, that phrase is so graphic. But the company apparently they may owe up to $1.2 million to roughly 12,000 customers. I don't know what that means, because I actually thought previously that basically people were screwed if they had still had money paid to them. But I guess that's good. I don't know where that money's going to come from, some sort of assistance, but it won't be to me, because I quit them a while back, sadly. Yeah, it's just. But as far as I know, the A-list with AMC and some of these other services are going all right.
They
So
seem to be doing
MoviePass
okay,
was
yeah.
just. Yeah, they had a grand vision, and they were not equipped to support that vision, and they may have, in some ways, paved the way for people who have better infrastructure to carry it on. So
That's the thing that's so interesting about this is MoviePass. I mean, by every objective measure, is a failure
yes,
in every aspect of everything it ever attempted. Failed. However, the one thing it did right was, almost by accident, give a new revenue stream to the big movie theater chains.
yeah.
Because pretty much every chain has their version of, like a monthly subscription viewing service. Mm-hmm. And that started with MoviePass.
I think it's kind of interesting. I mean, people are still trying to figure out how to revitalize the theater-going experience. I know for you and I mean, we go to more movies than probably the average person. Although I know you also have your critic screenings,
Yes.
which help. But I try to check out most things. It's just something I really enjoy. So a service like this is perfect for me. But it also makes me think, I mean, this could be a really great way for theaters to make money if they were to make this incentivized in such a way, and especially make you think that there is a deal to be made, but most people probably will not capitalize on the full potential of that deal. So that's how they're going to make their money, right?
Right.
Having you spend more a month than you normally would have with a theater going experience, thinking you would. But for me, I would probably always make them lose money. Right. But that said, this really does feel like, I know AMC is the only one I can think of off the top of my head, but I wonder if this is a thing that most theaters should start doing. I mean, I don't do the AMC one because, as I've said before, I don't have an AMC by my house. If I did, I would absolutely subscribe to that. So,
Like,
do you Are you part of that service?
The AMC?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's like $23 a month.
Yeah.
And I mean, just being honest, I mean, there's some months where I'll just go see one movie.
Dude, I paid $23 to see Rise of Skywalker in December.
Yeah, see?
Once.
Yeah.
Which is insanity.
Yeah, right.
And so anyway, this, I mean, I know theater prices vary. I know my parents in Oklahoma, at matinees, I think they pay like $6 or something.
Wow.
So it is different everywhere, but I know for myself with prices the way they are out here, I mean, this would definitely be worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm kind of like, the math in my head is like, if I go twice a month, I'm at break even,
Totally.
So it just, and I have a AMC that's literally 2 minutes from my house. So
yeah, right.
there is that also. Like there are times I'll skip a press screening and I'm just like, well, you can just wait 2 days and I'll just watch it right here,
Yeah, that's true.
So there is that.
Well, you can't see it, but I'm saluting MoviePass because as crazy and wild a ride as you've been for the 9 lives that it had, I admire it. I admire it. They were not ready, and it's too bad that it ended up the way that it did. But I really do feel like they started something.
Well, Brian, the problem is they were kind of a mess.
Hey, you know what, Zachy? Actually, if you could find another word,
that's really disrespectful. Yeah. Truth of it is, every time I see MoviePass in the news, I get excited because I'm like, oh, we get to bust out the theme music again. So
I do love that song. It's a pretty perfect song.
But I hear some other music, Brian.
Yes.
So Brian, I got to say, when Rise of Skywalker came out, I was fully expecting to just put the Star Wars news segment into hibernation.
I thought that too.
Right?
I thought that was what was going to happen, yeah.
But the news keeps happening.
I know. Well, we shouldn't be surprised that there's just going to be more Star Wars to come forever. What is that, Simpsons? Like, you'll never stop the Simpsons?
Yeah,
right. Right? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's going to be weddings.
That's the Behind the Laughter episode, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Skywalker saga may be finished. But there's definitely more, and then $4 billion investment that they need to get out there. So we have a movie that apparently is scheduled for 2022, but we don't know anything about it or who's behind it, right? But we still have Rian Johnson in the hopper. We have Kevin Feige, who said he wants to do something, which, Lucasfilm was like, really? And apparently Taika Waititi also. Oh, no. I'm sorry. They're courting him.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah. So there's that in the cinematic universe, but we also have TV to think about. We have Mandalorian Season 2 coming this fall, I believe.
Yes.
But the thing that apparently the hiccup that occasionally happens now with some of these Star Wars things is the Obi-Wan series that every single person was on board with. Right. There's so much controversy with certain filmmakers and stories and characters and whatever, but everybody was on board for this Obi-Wan Disney Plus series starring Ewan McGregor. But apparently it was about to go into production, but they decided kind of the last minute to just chuck all the scripts.
Right.
And start over. I think it hasn't been official why, right? But from what we're hearing, it's that they thought it was a little too close in theme or story to The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
which makes you wonder if it was maybe like a Obi-Wan and little Luke story or something.
I'm wondering if that was my thought. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny too, going back several years when the whole Disney sale happened. I was working on a movie. I guess I'll just keep it vague, but I was working on a movie, and so everyone was excited about the idea of what can new Star Wars stories be. And this director told me this. He's like, I want to make a Bear and Cub movie about Obi-Wan and Luke. And I was like, yeah,
wow.
Like I never thought of that. That's a great idea. And it's and then when I saw Mandalorian, I was like, oh wow, it's kind of what that is. And then it does seem like a really good idea for Obi-Wan and Luke, but now that we have the Mandalorian, it's a little too close. So
Yeah.
wonder how he's feeling right now. He's like, ah.
Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor, he's Obi-Wan. He gave an interview and he's like, look, everyone needs to relax. They're kicking it down a little bit, give everyone time to breathe, and we'll be back like next year to make it, right? And obviously that's a little bit of CYA, right? But I also think everyone does need to relax a little bit. Like, the thing is going to get made, and I think given the history with Star Wars lately, hitting pause before you've called action, well, that's a big step up.
Yes.
Right?
We're just so in the loop now.
Yes.
That we're ahead of everything. So this happens all the time. But now we have to be as patient as the people who are making the movies. It used to be we just waited till it was announced and then we're like, oh, good, the thing I want is happening and coming soon.
Yes.
Right? And I think this is not going to be surprising to anyone because we say this about everything. But take your time.
Right.
Make the best version of this. I don't want like a rushed version they're not so sure about. Like, if I care about anything coming up in Star Wars, it's this.
Yeah.
More than Mandalorian Season 2, more than whatever the next movie is. Like, this is the story I really want to see. I want to see more Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, if you're not 100% yet, wait till you're 100%. Like, I'm completely fine with that.
So, I will happily co-sign all of that. However, that being said,
yes,
I do have to ask, what's happening over there at Lucasfilm? Don't they how do you not know if it's an issue of plot similarities?
That is an excellent point. It almost feels like someone was feeling it and just sitting on their feelings a little bit, and then it just bubbled to a surface.
Right,
how did you get this far?
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure you broke the story. When you're breaking the story, why didn't you see it? Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there is that too. Just to be fair, I don't know.
I will also say, I really hope this isn't like The Mandalorian. I don't want to see episode of the week Obi-Wan.
No.
The Mandalorian, I know everybody was like head over heels for it, and I would put myself as I liked it a lot. Yeah, I felt like there was a bit of a dip in the middle where it just became, and I'm stealing other people's thoughts, but someone said it felt like Xena Princess Warrior, but with like in the Star Wars universe for a couple episodes. And I was like, yeah. Right. And being in the Star Wars universe, I thought it was well done, and I enjoyed the universe, and I enjoyed the character and the lasers and all that stuff. But I'd almost rather Obi-Wan feel more inevitable. Like, this story has to be told, and it's not like, let's see what he gets into this week. In a way, honestly, I'd almost rather this be a trilogy.
Of movies,
I don't know.
you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think of necessity, it can't be episodic. It has to be one big story.
Yeah. Wait, why do you say that?
Well, because I think, at least to me, the only thing that makes sense to sort of insert into his, like, if his mission is to watch Luke, and we know that his interactions with Luke are fairly rare, right? So let's assume Luke is not a central focus of this story.
Right.
What would it take to get Obi-Wan back into action in a way where he's you know what I mean? Like, there's constraints story-wise. Like, he has to stay on the DL. There's stuff that has to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. And actually, I take back the trilogy thing, because that feels like forced in a whole other way.
Sure.
No pun intended. But like, I feel like I just don't want it to feel loosey-goosey.
Yeah, you don't want it to be ordinary.
I don't want it to be ordinary. This needs to feel like more than television.
Yeah,
and I feel like Mandalorian sometimes felt like television.
I agree on both points, and so to that point, I mean, if the muckety mucks at Lucasfilm are realizing that and they want to give the story room to breathe, well, shit, it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? We're not on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
You got him. You got his signature. He's there whenever.
And the more he ages, probably the better. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
sure.
I mean, everybody needs to relax.
Yeah.
I found this. I found this quote, Brian. This is so applicable. This is George Lucas. So this is a quote from the book called "The Secret History of Star Wars" by Michael Kaminsky.
Okay.
Have you ever read that book, by the way?
I don't know if I have.
It's really good. Like either read it or there's an audiobook of it. It's unlicensed, so it gets into much more sort of the real story,
Okay.
But this is a quote from George Lucas from 1981. So shortly after Empire Strikes Back comes out, and already you've got people decrying it as ruining the franchise, and then you've got people who are saying it's the greatest thing ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's George Lucas talking about in 1981, talking about how people react to the Star Wars franchise. He says the underrating and the overrating are the same kind of reactions. The people who are saying it's nothing, it's junk food for the mind, are reacting against the people who are saying this is the greatest thing since popcorn. Both of them are wrong. It's just a movie. You watch it and you enjoy it. It's just that people tend to take those things so seriously and get carried away when they should realize that it's just something you enjoy, like a sunset. You don't have to worry about the significance of it. You just say, hey, that was great.
Doesn't it seem like a very healthy perspective
Really
from
does.
someone this is all coming from them, and it probably means the most to them?
But what's funny to me is that if that's what he was thinking back in 1981,
Yeah.
that means that for the next 30 years was just him stewing in his own misery.
Yeah.
Because no one got it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I really like that.
That's just good advice for life.
It's good advice. Yep.
It's just and actually just to elucidate on that further, the message there is not just accept shit.
Yes. Oh yeah. Right.
Right? Judge it, grade it, whatever you got to do, but like at the end of the day, realize it's just a movie and know when to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I think that's a key thing. That's not giving a license to just it's all just escapism, whatever. No. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but it's still just a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I like that. I'll have to check that book out.
yeah, it's really good. I would recommend it. It's The Secret History of Star Wars. Anybody listening, there is an audiobook version of it also, so that's worth a look.
Cool.
So why don't we take a little break, and then we'll come back and we will look at our favorite movies of the 2010s. And we're back, and we've been working on this for the last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had done our top 10 of 2019, obviously, but we keep our lists, and we thought it would be interesting to go back even further. Why not reflect on the past 10 years? And there was a lot to sift through. I don't know about for you.
Yes. So obviously, the dawn of the new decade means that people start. That's what happens. You start making lists.
Yeah, you reflect a little bit.
And by the way, actually, Brian, tangent. Is there a more annoying person on this earth than the one that says, actually, 2020 isn't the start of the new decade? Anyone who says that, I want to beat them to death, and any jury on earth would free me.
Yeah. I remember that at Y2K.
Yes.
I remember that being a big thing.
Yeah. Actually, the new decade. There's no year zero. It's like, shut your face.
Actually, it's funny. This is the first time this year when I saw that argument being made and someone explained, I was like, oh, I think I get it now. But that said, we're not thinking. I personally, I'm looking at the visual number. 2020 is 0. We're starting a new. We're in the 2s. We're not in the 10s.
Well, here's the fundamental logic problem. It's actually not the start of the new decade. And I say, well, what is a decade? It is 10 years. Okay.
Right.
So that point, the starting point is entirely based on the end point of the previous one. There's no, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
So if we say the previous decade started at 2010, then yes, this is the new decade. Beyond that,
right.
It's, if it's the 90s, then the 90s end at 1999.
Yes. I personally agree with that.
Yes. Anyone who doesn't agree, you're annoying. You should know your friends hate you. You should know that. If you bring this up in public, yeah, I'll give you one. You get one. Anything past one, you are a hated person.
I love it. Any jury in the world. That was good.
Anyway, so we have both come up with our lists, and now this is in response to a request that we got from Hamza Moin about a month or so ago, asking to give our picks for our favorite movies of the decade that just ended, so 2010 to 2019.
Yes.
And we took this upon ourselves, not realizing that this was going to be some work.
Yeah. I was about to just pop my knuckles like, okay, here we go. Yeah.
So I could only narrow it down to about 20.
Yeah, I'm about 18-ish, I think.
Okay. Slacker. That's why you're slacking for that last two. So I was like, okay, well, how do we do this? And I think you and I both agree, maybe let's do our picks for like 2010 to 2014, and then we'll do 2015 to 2019, right?
Yeah, I think that works.
So, again, this is the what criteria did you use, Brian?
I went through, because we do our best every year, so I looked through all those lists, and there were some I had at number 1, and I'm like, yeah, no, I believe that year I really did feel that way, but sometimes there are things I didn't tend to revisit, or as I said earlier, those were perfect moments in time, and I remember those perfect moments, but I haven't carried them with me necessarily over all these years. So I think these are movies. I didn't try to think what was critically acclaimed. I didn't try to think like, oh, I'm going to have to defend this. I was like, what movies are popping out at me that I'm like, I just love that movie.
Yeah.
So that's basically what these are.
There you go. Yeah, I concur.
Yeah.
So do you want to go first? I can, whatever you want.
Sure. Well, okay, so, sorry, I can't remember if you mentioned this. These are not in any sort of order except for time.
Correct,
right?
yes.
Right. Okay, so I guess start Inception.
Yep. They're better, Yeah,
I mean, Inception to this day, I mean, even when I look at the trailer for Tenet, which looks cool and intriguing, I was like, oh, I hope it's not just another Inception. It's got the stuff going backwards and it looks really cool, but I'm like, man, Inception, I'd never seen anything like it before. I don't feel like I've seen anything like it since. That was where I was like, oh, Christopher Nolan. Like, I mean, we loved Dark Knight already at this point, but it was like, oh, when he's not making Batman movies, he's going to do this? Right? I mean, it was just so original and so crazy, but I remember walking out of that with my friend, and it is a heady type of story, but it was like, no, I followed it, and that was really cool. Just the way that he sets up all the different timelines and dream levels, it's incredible. And we were talking off air beforehand, and I was saying that the bwam that comes from Inception still, I think that's one of the most influential movie, quote, in quotes, things of the past decade. It was in every score, every trailer, even in Bad Boys for Life, which we're going to talk about later. There's a moment where they do the bwam moment, and I was like, man, and I was surprised. That was 2010, very beginning.
Yep.
So,
yeah, you referred to Inception way back in the day when it first came out, specifically the fight, the zero gravity fight in the hallway. You called it perhaps the first iconic cinematic image of this decade.
Yes.
You said that back when it first came out, and here we are 10 years later, and we got nothing comparable to that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some big moments that we'll probably get to here, but yeah, that Joseph Gordon-Levitt in that circling, wow, the hallway spinning.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just iconic.
Yep.
Yep. How about for what else?
Did you want me to go, or?
Oh, I could keep going. I guess we'll probably have a lot of overlap, huh?
Well, I if we're talking about 2010, I put The Social Network.
Me too. Me too. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the movie is, like, in terms of being a historical document, it's total dog shit.
Right. Yes.
Right. But in terms of defining the shape of, like, the role social media would have on society for the next 10 years, it like foresaw it.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. That, and also it is just a relentless wordy drama. It's a thriller with words.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen it several times. If it's on cable, sometimes I'll stop, and it's relentless. That's just the word I keep thinking of. I mean, they speak so fast, and the drama is coming so quickly, and the events. I mean, talk about covering a span of time, but it's just every moment. I remember so many moments from that movie, and a lot of it's just verbal confrontation.
Yeah.
And that's where we saw Andrew Garfield.
Yes.
First time I saw him,
Yeah.
and so memorable in that movie. I mean, he goes toe to toe with anyone else in that movie. He's probably the big discovery of that film.
He is. Yeah. I mean, certainly in hindsight.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like Jesse Eisenberg just fine, but I think Jesse
he's
Eisenberg
great.
is playing a Jesse Eisenberg character.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. But this was the Jesse Eisenberg character to define all Jesse Eisenberg characters, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, yeah, it's a great movie, great script. I remember, I think it's in the script, his girlfriend, who becomes his ex-girlfriend, says, talking to you is like working a Stairmaster. And it's like the movie's like that, too.
Yeah, well, Aaron Sorkin, man.
Yeah.
The guy's got it.
Well, all right, so I had also 2010, Toy Story 3.
Ooh, nice.
Which I will never, ever forget for the first time seeing those toys facing that incinerator. And then they all look at each other like, oh, we're going to die. And then they just hold hands and like, well, let's die together. And I looked to my left and to my right at my friends next to me, and I was like, is this happening? Like, I couldn't believe. So take away that it's a kid's movie. I mean, just any movie, that's like a moment I'm never going to forget the feeling I had when I was watching that, because I loved these guys. And it was a really, really mature moment. And that's the most I think I've ever seen a children's film push. And it's like, no, this is what we want to do. I can't imagine any other Disney movie. I mean, only Pixar could do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that movie really, really set the bar. And they've still done good things afterwards, and of course there's great things before, but Toy Story 3 I think was really, really landmark in many ways. And that was 2010. What a stacked year.
Yeah, I agree.
I have one more 2010 actually. I don't know about you.
Go for it.
Black Swan.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I wouldn't have thought to include that, but you're right. Yeah.
That was another one. I remember watching the film and just being completely enraptured by it. And then when it ended and I can finally exhale, I looked at the people next to me and I went, whoa! That movie just had me by its claws. And Natalie Portman's amazing in it. The direction's amazing. It's like a really weird, cerebral thriller about like obsession and perfection. And yeah, that's a good one. That's one I'd like to rewatch again sometime.
Me too, just for hearing you talk about it.
Yeah, that's a solid movie. Okay, what else?
All right, so I for 2011,
Yeah.
and this actually, like, I realized that, like, I put Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol,
Yes.
but I realized I should just put Mission Impossible franchise.
You are, yes. I exactly the same.
right?
I have it later. I think I put Mission Impossible 6, but it was really to cover all of them.
Yeah, I mean, really, when we look at the 3 Mission Impossible films released this past decade, they all, I think, tonally and stylistically took their cues from what Brad Bird did with Ghost Protocol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
Right, and that's number 4, right? So I think it's a clear demarcation point in that franchise. Sorry, my daughter's very excited about Mission Impossible.
Yes. She's like, don't forget to include.
Yeah, that's right. What about Henry Cavill? But you know, I think to have 3 movies, each one you're like, well, that's just damn good. Like,
Yes.
to be able to do that. I mean, you know, somebody online was like, what's the best trilogy of this past decade? And my thought was, I was like, well, it's not technically a trilogy, but Mission Impossible.
Yeah, and they feel consistent, and I mean that in a positive way, but they also keep building upon one another and not repeating themselves.
Yes.
Right? They've created a lore which wasn't there earlier, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger, but they're not exhausting themselves. I cannot wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything from 2011?
2011 Bridesmaids.
Man, that's another good choice.
I love Bridesmaids. I was lucky enough, I saw a preview screening of that, which was even longer, and that was just, everybody loved it. I remember that was like such a good screening. And then when it came out, it became this huge deal. And Kristen Wiig's career's been interesting, right? I mean, she could keep trying to make more Bridesmaids,
yeah, she's
or whatever.
chosen not to.
Yeah, she makes these sort of small, sad indie movies,
right?
Which I kind of admire. But I know she has another one coming out that she's co-written with Annie Mumolo, I believe her name is, who they wrote Bridesmaids together. So I look forward to that. But I think Bridesmaids totally holds up, hilarious. Really felt fresh when it came out. Yeah.
And it launched Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Of course. I can't believe I didn't even mention that. Yeah. I mean, speaking of the 2010s, I mean, she was one of the major faces of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have, this is moving on to 2012, I have Looper.
Oh, nice.
I think for me, what sticks out to me is that it's the kind of smart and heady science fiction that, you know, it's so forward thinking that, like, I knew as soon as I watched it that like 10, 20 years from now, people will talk about Looper as like groundbreaking sci-fi.
Yeah, that's one I need. That was one where I enjoyed the screening and I haven't revisited it. I would like to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I remember most about that first time is having no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know,
And the world building in that was so incredible.
You know, and obviously I'm like a huge Rian Johnson fan, but that stems from my experience with Looper.
Right. I celebrate his entire catalog.
I'm almost there,
quote,
basically, yeah.
A movie from the Zeros.
That's right. What do you got?
Avengers, nice. 2012.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can we say, right? I mean, this was, obviously, we've liked the ones afterwards as well. And they pull, who would have thought this felt like such a feat at the time, right? To take all these characters and movies and then put them all together and have it actually be an awesome movie. Who knew that several years later they would top themselves continually with the Avengers series alone, let alone the Marvel movies, right? But yeah, this was the one that started it all, and I still love watching this one on TV.
Yeah, I think the measure of this movie is that it doesn't get talked about as much when we talk about the scope. I mean, people talk about Civil War or Endgame and Infinity, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And yet none of that would have been possible if Avengers didn't say, hey, all these guys exist in the same movie and you're going to buy it.
Yeah, and one isn't going to cancel out the other or smother the other. I mean, it was a perfect balance, and it was a great team-up film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I move into 2013. I have 12 Years a Slave.
Oh, yeah.
which is a hard movie to watch once, much less multiple times.
Yep.
But it's important, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, to me, it's. I mean, it gets under your skin. Like that's I've only seen it twice, and each time it's like you spend weeks thinking about it.
Yeah. I've only seen it once, but I remember a lot of it, and that doesn't happen for a movie that's 8, 7 years old, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have anything for 2013?
I go right to 14.
Oh, okay. What's your 2014?
14 is another year that's pretty stacked for me here. Interstellar,
I got that. Yep.
which was, again, Christopher Nolan. I don't feel like this one made culturally as much of an impact as Inception per se, but that movie was another one where you're like, wow, we get a filmmaker that gets to do this, have this sort of budget to make a movie this big that is about being stuck on a planet for 5 minutes, but then 60 years goes by on Earth, and that's the drama, like,
Yeah.
the amazing Hans Zimmer score.
So good.
Yeah, and like really crazy, heady ending.
And
Sort of almost
real quick,
Kubrick-like
Ryan,
ending.
talking about the score,
Yeah.
the idea that you would use church organs,
Yes.
like, I mean, the way this guy thinks in terms of music is amazing,
Yeah. Yeah. And then I remember when the Matt Damon's trying to get away, and then they're trying to do the lock. The things are spinning, and they're trying to.
Oh, dude, I watch that scene regularly.
Yeah, and the score is incredible. The tension is insane, and it's just about two spinning things trying to get in sync and lock on. It's so good. Yeah,
I think I've said this to you before. Like, I'll get in the car and my kids will be like, "Oh, Baba, can you play No Time for Caution?"
That's amazing. That's awesome.
A big cosign on Interstellar. I have also from 2014 Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah.
So obviously, Brian, I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of a fan of the Planet of the Apes movies.
I celebrate their entire catalog.
I do. So this is another trilogy, and I would say this is another one of the great trilogies of this past decade.
Yeah.
I think all three of the entries are great, but to me, Dawn is really the creative peak,
Right.
and partially because obviously the performances and everything, but like there's just something so dystopian about the scenario, and it really feeds into, I think, the enduring appeal of the original film.
Yes.
It takes us to a dark place, and what the ape films are about ultimately is about man dooming man. Mm-hmm. And so I think this film, which when you look at the where it sits, it's meant to be about 10 years out from where we are right now. So it's within arm's reach. Mm-hmm. And you sort of say, like, look how quickly we screwed ourselves up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that to me is like, when I think of this trilogy, the iconography of specifically the second film is what always sticks out to me. I mean, to me, that's what put Matt Reeves on the map. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm like, well, if this is the guy who wants to make Batman,
Right.
you let him do whatever the hell he wants.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
got anything else from 2014?
I have Whiplash.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, Damien Chazelle. That was where I first. Was that his first film? His first feature?
Well, it's certainly what again, what's what put him on the map.
Yeah, put him on the map for sure. Miles Teller and.
I watched this because it was your favorite movie of 2014.
Oh, really? Oh, because of wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it is so. That was a. Yeah, I'm remembering now. All these movies that I'm mentioning, I'm very memorable viewing experiences. That was one I do remember watching as a screener in a chair in my living room. But I remember being just out of breath at the end of that movie when he's doing that drum solo.
Yes.
Just really intense, really great. Another one, gosh, everything I'm saying here, I just would really love to go and revisit that. That was, yeah.
I just, in terms of 2014, I also want to add Boyhood.
Yeah, I had that also.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is another one where it wasn't even on my radar until you had brought it up. And this was my favorite movie of 2014.
Yeah.
And I have not revisited since then.
Mm-hmm.
But it has the scope and craft that went into it.
Yes.
Is so impressive that above and beyond that, it's a really compelling story.
Yes, and that it's something so touching came out of that.
Yes.
What could have just been an experiment.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Again, very memorable. I saw that in the theater, and I remember just walking home and I just literally watch actors grow up.
Yeah.
Over like 10 years, and then it kind of makes you a little wistful for your own sort of experiences, and that was something that could have not worked at all, and I was really impressed with how it did and what it made me feel.
It was a gamble. It was a gamble.
Total gamble.
Yeah.
Also 2014, I have Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because I love Wes Anderson, and even as a fan of his, I saw Bottle Rocket back when it came out. Like, so I was there from the beginning. Loved
That's
Bottle
another
Rocket.
one. You know why I saw that? Because you gifted that to me.
Right, that's right. And I love Rushmore and Tenenbaums and all those too. But I do feel like after a while, I always liked what he did, but it felt like he was sort of replaying his greatest hits in just different sort of forms. But Grand Budapest Hotel felt like the culmination of someone who had been making movies for many years. Now he has the resources. Now he has the experience and the maturity and everything else. And he took all the things he learned from all those movies and made a great, great movie. I think the story's great. The script's great. The direction's great. The production design is great. The score is incredible. I used to listen to the score when I was at work. I just really feel like this is... I hate to... All his movies I like, but this might be his masterpiece, honestly.
I was literally last night, I was talking to my wife, and just randomly, I was like, have you seen Grand Budapest Hotel? She's like, yeah. It's a good movie, isn't it? Like, just randomly that came up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another one that absolutely it stayed with me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now I'm into 15, so...
Wow, okay. Do you want... What do you have for 2015?
15, I certainly have this. Mad Max Fury Road.
Yep, that's right.
I did not see this movie coming. Right? Did anybody? Like,
I did.
They're making another Mad Max with Tom Hardy. It's like, okay.
I was the one person, Brian, and I got the receipts, because you know me. George Miller, Mad Max, I was a fan.
You know what? I do remember that. I do remember that. And I'm sure I thought it was going to be like, yeah, that'll be like a fun thing that comes out in March that I'm like, that's cool, and then I forget about. But this is a movie that I would put it in the top 3 of the decade, honestly.
It's that good.
It's that good. Yeah. And to have an action movie that grips you from a visceral, action-y sort of way, but also, Charlize Theron, like introducing this new character and her whole journey and those women. The story's great. Like, it is just... pun intended, it's just fires on all cylinders, and I think it entirely holds up all these years later. It was nominated for Best Picture, for goodness sake. I mean, who saw that coming?
No, nobody.
Crazy. So yeah, very memorable. So that was the only 15 I have.
2015 was quite stacked for me, actually.
Oh wow, okay.
So I do have Fury Road. I also put Creed on there.
Oh, of course, right.
And I think, above and beyond just being, a Rocky film, and I have an affinity for that. I think what makes it one of the best of the decade is it's not just that.
Yes.
It takes this very familiar story and it spins it in a way that obviously it sort of creates Michael B. Jordan superstar.
Yeah.
Right? He had been doing good work before then, obviously, but I think this is what really launched him into where he is now. It's you can watch it completely separate from the Rocky films, and you will still be 100% engaged.
Entirely agree. Actually, I regret not having it included. I officially add it to my list after you bring that up. Yes, you're totally right.
Another 2015 movie for me was The Big Short.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And this is one that I have revisited several times. And it's like, I think everything Adam McKay was doing with this movie makes it really, it was like the leading edge of a trend in terms of stylistically approaching this type of material, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was December, and then that same month was Spotlight, which I adore.
Right. Yeah.
I watch Spotlight several times a year because I show it in my classes.
Oh, okay.
So in any given year, I watch it at least 4 times
Wow.
since it came out.
Are there any memorable lines from Mark Ruffalo in that?
They knew. It's so good. Like I remember when it won Best Picture, and like people got upset because they were like, "Well, Leonardo DiCaprio nearly died so that he could win," and I was like, "That's fine. I like The Revenant." In my opinion, Spotlight, it won for a reason. It's so deceptively good at what it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's not flashy. It's like stylistically the exact opposite of The Big Short.
Right.
But both of these films, what makes them stand out is each of them is perfectly served by the tonal approach that they took.
Yeah. Yeah. Well put.
Right? I mean, Spotlight, you get this cast from top to bottom. Like every single actor is like, you would kill if the movie just had that person and a bunch of unknowns, you'd be like, oh, it's a good movie, right?
Right.
But it's like from stem to stern. I mean, I don't think Michael Keaton has had a great decade. I think this is like his best performance of the last decade, in my opinion.
Right. He really has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And okay, so that's 2015 for me.
Okay, I have 2 for 16.
Okay.
This is another one similar to what we were saying earlier about Mission Impossible. I put Rogue One
Nice.
because I had to acknowledge Star Wars because it's been very exciting. It's been very tumultuous to be a Star Wars fan, but it's also been very exciting to be a Star Wars fan. And I'll never, ever forget the build up to Force Awakens. And I mean, it felt like a national holiday where I was working. Everybody at work had plans to go see it that night, and we were all dressed up. We went to a restaurant beforehand. Everybody in there was wearing Star Wars hats and shirts, and so that was definitely to be acknowledged. But I think for me, I picked Rogue One to represent all of it because that, to me, showcases what is possible for the future of Star Wars. It was a story that had nothing to do with Luke Skywalker directly. And they were like, let's look in another corner of the galaxy and figure out how to tell an exciting story. And it did, of course, involve the Death Star and a whole plot that we're familiar with, and it's tangential to that. But it was really exciting to see new characters doing new things that affected a universe I care about. And I remain, after all of these things, I remain excited about Star Wars and look forward to what other exciting new possibilities lie ahead in this next decade for it. So I think Rogue One, for me, is representative of that.
Rogue One was a squeeze for me. Ultimately, I decided to put a different Star Wars movie on my list, but
Totally.
this is like right up there.
Yeah.
For all the reasons that you say.
Yeah. And then lastly, for 2016, I put La La Land, which I know
interesting.
hasn't remained for a lot of people. And even when it came out, it got a lot of praise, but some people, just kind of whatever about it. But man, I remember us talking about this. This was one that I saw as a screener, and I was like, wow. And that was the only screener I've ever been like, I'd actually like to see that on the big screen. And after having watched it, I went to a theater to watch it. And it's another one, sort of like we were saying earlier, I haven't really gone back to it necessarily because there's also this sort of twinge of sadness to the film that I don't feel like revisiting in some ways.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was a really impressive accomplishment. I think the original music was really good. I thought the way they incorporated it into a musical, but also just sort of this LA love story. I don't know. It was very, very accomplished and impressive to me, and I had to include it.
It's a movie that I definitely enjoyed when it came out, but I have not gone back to it.
Yeah.
I do feel it's unfortunate that its little asterisk in history is tied up with the Oscar snafu.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It's funny though, and maybe I've said this on the show, I can't remember, but Can you imagine if that had happened in reverse? So
No.
if Moonlight was announced, but it actually went to La La Land?
Yeah. I think we'd still be reading hot takes or think pieces on that.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
For me, I have Arrival.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So to me, Denis Villeneuve is one of these. To me, he's like Nolan, where if he's making a movie, I'm gonna watch it.
Yes.
And leading up to Arrival, we had Prisoners the same decade,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and we had Sicario, right? Mm-hmm. But I like Arrival for the same reason I like Looper, because it's doing heady, smart sci-fi in a way that you generally didn't see it in the mainstream in decades prior. Right? I mean, notwithstanding your like 2001, right? If it was big budget sci-fi, it was pew pew,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And yet you have a movie like Arrival, which is, I mean, it's like it's an art movie. But they got a big budget, great cast, big cast, and it's, I mean, again, this is one of those ones where it's like you watch it and you're like sort of processing it as you're watching it, and then you just sort of you let it wash over you for the next several hours. And that's another one. I've seen it a few times since then, and it's just it's a truly beautiful movie.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The way those aliens are tough.
Yes,
I feel like aliens are getting worse because of the unlimited possibilities. There was something about being reined in that I think made them comprehensible and relatable in a weird way, like with E.T. and Predator and all those things. And now that you can do anything, it's really easy to go too far and make me be like, oh yeah, I'm watching like a creation, like a CG creation. But that one, as weird as they were, like they keep them at a distance sort of through the fog, and they have this weird tangible thing with their sort of like octopus-like tentacles, and that was a really imaginative, successful alien creation, I think.
Well, and just, the way the story is told is itself a literalization of the central conceit.
Yes. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I gotta see that again. Yeah, that was great.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
So is that it for 2016 for you?
For me, yeah.
So for 2017, I have Wonder Woman.
Me too.
Hey. So why did you pick Wonder Woman?
Well, I mean, this is definitely a decade where we've gotten lots of superhero movies. And they just from one studio alone, we'll get 3 a year, right? And I think what I really enjoyed about Wonder Woman was I didn't know a ton about her other than just her costume, and she has an invisible jet and her lasso of truth kind of thing. And I went in expecting like, I get it. Like she's going to be this and she's going to kick butt, and then we'll get Wonder Woman too. But I was really surprised at what a great story this movie ended up being, like a love story, and also the way that it was set, during the war, and a fish out of water story that wasn't there just because it had to be and then we move on. Like they actually played into that, and the way that who she is affects those around her. And I mean, the No Man's Land sequence wasn't just some sort of flashy, awesome, she flips around kind of sequence. You really felt what she was up against. It was way more grounded and human than I ever expected it to be. And it's one that when I think back of my favorite superhero movies of the past decade, that's easily at the top.
Yeah. You mentioned the No Man's Land sequence, and obviously the character was already introduced in Batman vs. Superman.
Right.
But to me, I mean, this is her sort of coming out party.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Right. And to me, I think, like, when I think of superhero entrances, the stuff that's sort of imprinted on my psyche is, Christopher Reeve, when he comes out of the revolving door in Superman, when Batman swings down to Axis Chemical, and this, and No Man's Land.
Yeah, and the characterization of her is so interesting too, because she could be condescending.
Right.
Like she knows better, because she kind of does. But she's just her integrity and her compassion is such an important component of who she is, and she cares about people, and she's not looking to talk down. She's looking to build up and to bring people to come together. And I just feel like that really went a long way in making her a more interesting character than she could have just been this,
Yeah.
larger than life sort of figure that, you know what I mean?
Oh, no, absolutely. And I just want to add that I think Patty Jenkins directing, you see the importance of a female gaze.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Between that and Justice League, I think it is.
And Justice League, right? Because Justice League, Joss Whedon did a lot of the reshoots on it, and it's like, here's Gal Gadot's ass.
Literally. Right. I remember it being noticeable.
Yeah.
Coming from Wonder Woman and then into that. Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's totally true, yeah.
And so that's why I'm really looking forward to Wonder Woman 1984,
Me too. Great trailer.
Yeah, oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
2017. Do you have anything else for 2017?
I do. I have Coco.
Oh, that was your number one for that year.
Yeah, which was another Pixar movie where they just push the limits of what you think is possible with an animated film and in quotes, like, kids movie.
Yep.
And I mean, this ends up being a movie about mortality.
Yeah.
And about love, and there's like a murder in it, which is crazy. But it really, just your memory and people remembering you and you remembering the people who came before you. And I watched that because I felt like I wanted to see it before we went over like a top 10 of the year. And I watched it early in the morning before work, like tried to squeeze it in. And I was a mess. Like I was sobbing from this movie. It was just so powerful for me. And that's another one where I almost don't want to go back. It was such a perfect moment, and I remember so much of it. I'm almost kind of happy to leave it where it is, and I'm nervous to go back. I don't know if I want to go there again.
I mean, it's funny because I have a 2.5-year-old daughter who has watched it a million times,
Right.
So so those songs are like on constant repeat,
Yeah.
But there's a quote I read last year that really was profound to me that said, someday someone will be the last person to ever think about you.
Yeah.
Right. And that's one of those things you read it and then you just kind of sit down in silence.
Yes. And we see that manifested
exactly
in this movie. I mean, we see someone, because it's, they go to the sort of like ghost land, and once the last person thinks of you, you disappear, and we watch someone disappear because no one's thinking of them anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, going back to what you said at the top about Pixar. I mean, this is the type of thing Pixar can very comfortably do, and that name, Pixar, has bought them the flexibility to do that.
Yes.
Yes. Because In and Out, or rather Inside Out, sorry, tackles similar sort of weighty subjects,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember when Bing Bong disappears?
Yes.
Tell me you weren't a wreck when that happened, right?
I know.
So that's 2017, right, for you?
I have two more. Do you have any more 2017?
I do. I have Blade Runner 2049.
Oh yeah, I didn't have that, but yeah.
Again, Denis Villeneuve, right?
Yeah.
Now this is again for me, Blade Runner. We all know the legacy and reputation of Blade Runner, and you say, well, who would be dumb enough to do a sequel to this, right?
Right.
And then you get a sequel that at least matches the original and could arguably be said to exceed it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's funny because my brother, who amazingly had like never seen either of the Blade Runner movies. Well, he hadn't seen the first one. I was like, oh, you should watch them. You should watch them both. So he watched them and he was like raving about them. And I thought it was very interesting because I told him, I was like, to me, Blade Runner 2 is like this really awesome epilogue to the original Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, my brother says, see, I think of the original Blade Runner as a really good prologue to the second Blade Runner.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And my point is, they fit together that perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. This should be called Best of the Decade / movies Brian feels like he wants to rewatch again. Well, I wasn't sure about this one because I feel like this movie didn't really get talked about a whole lot, but I was like, no, I really had a great experience with this. I Tonya
Oh, sure, yeah.
That was one, again, I would probably have never seen it if it weren't for a screener that I had, because I was like, well, let's watch this, because I have it. And I found it to be a really invigorating, interesting biopic. Speaking of biopics, I mean, we're starting to see these true stories about things that have actually happened in our recent memory. And I thought it was a really creative way to approach that story, where it doesn't necessarily make Tonya Harding out to be completely innocent, but it paints a nuanced picture. And I thought Margot Robbie was really, really great. I'm forgetting the guy's name. The guy who played Galuli's right-hand man, who's in Richard Jewell. He is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's Paul...
Hauser or something?
Paul Hauser, yeah.
Paul Hauser, yeah. He's so good in that. The direction is interesting.
He
the
follows
script
me
is
on Twitter,
interesting.
by the way. That's like a
Oh,
random.
does he really?
Yeah, it's random.
Oh, I love that guy. I anything he's in, it's gonna make me turn my head and be like, well, what is it? Right. I thought it was a little sad this movie got kind of kept by the sidelines, and I even brought it in. We have a screening room at work, and we were looking for stuff to watch, and so I was like, well, I got this movie I really liked, I, Tonya, and I was curious if anyone would like it. And when it was over, everyone was raving about it, and like I would have never watched it if he hadn't brought that in, but we loved it. I thought it was memorable enough to include on here for myself.
It's funny you talk about Paul Walter Hauser and being in both I, Tonya and Richard Jewell, because to me I sort of mentally link both of those stories, the Richard Jewell story and the Tonya Harding story, as like emblematic of that moment, like because they're both linked to the Olympics, different Olympics, but also because back in the day I used to do my Tom Brokaw impression, which was just being like Richard Jewell and Jeff Gooley.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow, who knew that?
I just on a side note, my friends and I, we play this game called Celebrity, or you write the name on a piece of paper and you got to act it out and whatever. And my brother and I, Tom Brokaw was such a fixture in our household. I mean, our whole family watched the 5:30 NBC News, Central Time, I guess. And so whenever we play the game and someone's like, Tom Brokaw, everyone always looks at Dan and I, because we both always put him in. So there's always two Tom Brokaws in that game.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Well, 2017, I imagine we have one that's the same.
Well, I put The Last Jedi.
Okay.
That's my last 2017 one.
Okay.
And I have spent a lot of time talking about The Last Jedi, so I'm not going to anymore.
It's good.
I'm going to subvert expectations a la Rian Johnson by not talking about The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Great. Well, I had Get Out.
Is that 2017? I thought that was 2018. Am I?
I think it's 17. I could be wrong.
Okay. No, you're right. It is. Okay, so that's on my list also. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was another one, too. I mean,
so good.
Shoot, actually, now I'm looking over all these movies. These are all mostly original movies.
Yeah, many of them.
Right? And Get Out, I mean, that was... I've never seen that story before. The acting was great. It was sort of a pulpy horror movie, but it also didn't go straight into horror movie. It went into sort of like societal horror.
Yeah.
And it was just so fresh and original and surprising that I remember thinking that very likely could win Best Picture, and I would have been happy if it had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think first of all, Daniel Kaluuya came out of nowhere in this movie.
Yeah.
It's so
yeah.
good. And I think the measure of a movie's impact is how the phraseology sort of transcends the movie itself. And I think everyone knows what you're talking about when you say the sunken place.
The sunken place, yep.
Right, and that says something about the overall impact. And obviously, not forget Daniel Kaluuya, but above Daniel Kaluuya, friggin' Jordan Peele becoming like a hyphenate after this.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the sunken place, I mean, for a first-time director, you can imagine him trying to explain what that would look like visually. I mean, first of all, how do you even... try to get people to understand what you want people to see and feel for those moments. But I mean, completely, I can picture it right now. Him falling, it feels like he's in water, but he's in all darkness. And amazing directing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. For 2018, do you have anything? You're done with 2017, right?
Yes, sir.
2018, I put Into the Spider-Verse.
Ah, nice. Yes.
And this is a tough one. I went back and forth between, because again I was trying to narrow it down to 20, between Spider-Verse and Black Panther, in terms of like impactful, you know. And Black Panther is obviously it's a great film, but for me, the reason I put Spider-Verse at the top of my list last year, I'm like, we've never seen animation like this,
Yeah, it was something completely new.
right? And it wasn't just the animation; it was in service of this story that is so resonant and powerful and emotional in a way we don't expect from something that doesn't have Pixar in the title. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually didn't have anything for 2018.
Okay.
Trying to keep it to about 20.
Yeah.
But I completely agree with that. And I did have Mission Impossible Fallout, but I'll go with you and say that I think that we'll just call it the trilogy. Yeah.
So 2019 for you then?
2019, which we have just gone over, but the ones that I picked from this one that I think will last for me, that should be included with this decade, was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Apollo 11, and Parasite.
And that's a good list.
Yeah.
I just put Infinity War / Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's obviously acknowledging, everything you said about the Avengers. But I think when you take what started there and how they were able to tie all those threads together, I think this is a duology that I have every confidence is going to transcend the decades.
Definitely.
You know, I've said it before. 20 years from now, people who are kids now will be talking about, oh, remember what it was like watching those movies. Mm-hmm. So that is our 20. Or do you have any more?
No, that's it.
Yeah. Wow, we got through that.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, that was kind of fun. It was really interesting hearing yours as well and seeing things that I didn't think to put on my list, but you're making me really want to revisit them. Maybe this past decade was a lot better than I remember.
It was.
Yeah.
Maybe we just didn't appreciate what we had when we had it.
Right.
It's like an O. Henry story. So with that wraps up January here at the Movie Film Show. But we got some fun stuff planned for February. We got in our next episode we'll be talking about Birds of Prey, which is the next the DC Comics adaptation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hopefully we're going to have a commentary track drop in this coming month too. So let's see how that goes. But until then, as always, as I ask you each and every time, folks, please send us your comments. You can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. If you're looking for me, you can find me at my website, zakiescorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. That's also my Twitter. And it's also my Instagram, so please hit me up there. Look for a new article from me at the San Francisco Chronicle, where I look back at the pulp heroes of the 1990s, specifically Dick Tracy, The Shadow, and The Phantom.
Ooh, I look forward to that.
That's a fun one. Looking forward to having that out in the world. And Brian, what do you have going on?
I have new Puppy Dog Pals coming fast and furious on Disney and Disney Junior. So check that out.
Speaking of Fast and Furious, did you see the poster, the teaser poster for the new Fast and Furious?
Yes, it's like the cross pendant hanging from a rearview mirror, correct?
Yeah, with like Dom with his back to the camera.
Yeah.
I was like, for the next one, they should just cut the pretense and just have Dom as Jesus. Like, we're just one step removed, you know?
I know. That's really good.
By hook or by crook, the Fast and Furious movies have become a Christ metaphor.
I'm sure Vin Diesel, that might have been his first pitch.
Didn't see that coming. And hey, in our next episode, we probably will be talking about the first trailer for Fast and Furious 9. So
yeah.
Well, and I want to remind everybody, please go to iTunes, leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. I would love to read whatever reviews you leave us on the show, so please make that happen. And with that, I will close off episode 193 of the Movie Film Show. On behalf of my partner, Brian Hall, my name is Zaki Hassan. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy Jackie and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.